Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you. From here on out, we're going to be covering everything that was WWE TLC 2014. This is going to be an awesome night coming home watching TLC on the WWE Network because I don't know. I guess the only reason I can really give it to you is that I just really don't care. I will not be watching the WWE pre-show, seeing how now it is 10 o'clock. It is 5 hours after the WWE pay-per-view has started. I am obviously watching this on demand on the WWE Network. One of the best features there is going for it is the strong on-demand market. Only $9.99 to sign up. So if there's anybody out there bitching and complaining about me making YouTube videos here on YouTube and putting them up and you thinking that they are going to be the match, well, go to the WWE Network, sign up. It's only $9.99. If you are searching and scouring through YouTube trying to find this match or this show, obviously you care enough that you should head on over to the WWE Network and sign up for $9.99 a month. It is awesome. It's not free like last month, but $9.99, you're going to get all sorts of awesome stuff. Let's get down to business. The New Day versus Goldust and Stardust in the opening show pre-match. I just basically looked up the results on this show. Basically for the match, just basically for the factor of I didn't really care enough to watch it. So basically it was Biggie Langston and Kofi Kingston wrestling as a part of the New Day with Xavier Woods on the outside. Obviously the money portion of the team. From there on out, basically it was Kingston it was Kofi Kingston and Big E with their big move on Goldust, where basically they hit the Midnight Hour is the new name of their new finisher, and they got the win from there on. Obviously, I know that they didn't win the Tag Team Turmoil a few weeks ago, but I think that even though they didn't win that, they're moving in the right direction. They got a win on Raw, they got a win on SmackDown, they got a win on the pre-show. They should be taking over the tag team division sooner than later and moving their way up towards taking those titles away from whoever wins, whether it's Miz and Mizdow or if it's the Usos. I think that Miz and Mizdow are my pick to win that match from there on out. But what a way to really kick off WWE TLC 2014. Luke Harper and Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship in a ladder match to really kick it off. I thought this was going to be the kickoff when I was talking about the matches doing my preview last week. But honestly, I thought they might want to save Ziggler for a little bit, seeing how he is the hometown guy, and they really did give it that treatment. When you watched the pre-show, Dolph Ziggler did an open Q&A where you were able to submit questions, and they asked him live on the air with Todd Phillips, and when he came out, normally he's announced from Hollywood, Florida. He was announced from Cleveland. He had no sort of hidden gimmick. Basically, he wanted everybody to know that's where he was from, and I think all of Cleveland knew he was from there. I saw pictures on Twitter of Miz and Ziggler. They were at the Browns game this morning, so they were really getting that hometown ovation, really getting everybody pumped up. This was a really, really awesome match. Michael Cole now calls TLC the Demolition Derby of wrestling. They called the Best of TLC, which was a special on the WWE Network, I believe, last Monday. They called that the Demolition Derby. So from here on out, I guess that should be the new gimmick they have going for this. I have never seen as many ladders as I did for the opening of this match. Normally for the TLC, they have some ladders lined up the entrance way. They have a few around the ring. They have all the stairs sort of as the set all the way in the background. They sort of keep the tables hidden. I didn't see any during this match. They probably all stepped up underneath the ring, or maybe they'll pull them out as we get closer to the tables match later on in the night. But I mean, there was a ladder almost every 2 feet down the entranceway. There was one. There's probably at least two on every corner. Ladders everywhere. Oh my, I couldn't believe it. They're really going all out the extra mile, and that's exactly what Ziggler and Luke Harper did inside of the ring. I talked about Luke Harper not having really the body that would hold up in a ladder match, not really looking the type of an Intercontinental Champion, and I really had some regards about how good this match really was going to be. Luke Harper is a guy a lot like Dolph Ziggler. He put all of his body into this match, really went above and beyond. At one point, Dolph Ziggler was on the outside of the ring holding a ladder, and Luke Harper came flying through the bottom rope, a move you've seen 1,000 times, never involving a ladder before. But Luke Harper's arm went right through the ladder as he attacked Ziggler, and as he fell to the floor, the ladder almost snapped his arm in half. You definitely tell that he was in pain. My first thought was that the arm was broken. The announcer started talking about the match. the match might be over because Harper's arm was broken. I immediately saw Dolph Ziggler sprint for the ladder and go up. I thought maybe he was just going for the easy win with Harper down there on the floor. They'd be able to get Harper out of there to the doctor to see what was going on with that arm, maybe if it was broken. But Harper came in and made the save. There was many times they played that crowd like a fiddle. They played me as well. With Ziggler climbing up to the top of the ladder only for Harper to come out there and make the save. I mean, there's probably close calls inside of a match. Many times it's like that with the ladder where the guy climbs to the top. Ziggler was right there grabbing the belt so many times. There was 2 different stunts that went wrong for Ziggler with the ladder. I guess it didn't really go wrong when you're fighting in a ring with a ladder. Things are going to go wrong. At one point, Ziggler received a cut on the bridge of his nose, and they played that into the ring where basically the referees came down to ringside trying to give him some sort of medical assistance. And as the time they were giving medical assistance, there is no timeouts, there is no pauses in wrestling. Luke Harper climbed up to the top of the ladder trying to retrieve the championship and win the match. Ziggler noticed, was able to run in and make the save. Then there was another time when he came flying down off a ladder, and the ladder caught him right on the bridge over the top of his head where the hairline is, and he started to bleed from there as well. WWE, for the most part, I think they tried everybody. The referee put their gloves on. They sent the medical guys down there. But it is what it is when you're having a ladder match. Guys are going to bleed, and it's just, the stuff that happens. The one fall that really got me was they set up a ladder that stretched out from the ring to the announce table. From there, Luke Harper fell to the outside, and I thought that Dolph Ziggler was going to be climbing to the top. From that point, and Harper would have like a seat, basically where he was laying on the outside watching, and I thought that was where they were going to have him lay until the match was over, and then they would have that awesome shot of basically him being dead on top of a ladder outside of the ring as Ziggler won. Little to my surprise, Harper got in the ring and he was able to make the save. A move that I've never seen in a ladder match before. Lots of times guys find ways to hit their finishers, but not ever did Shawn Michaels ever find a way, at least in my mind. Memorable was a way to hit the super kick. And both guys were climbing dual ladders trying to get up to where the Intercontinental Championship rested above the ring. And Ziggler pulled out a trick from his trade, super kick, knocking Harper off of the ladder down, falling to the floor. From there, basically Ziggler was able to get up and grab the title. They played off the hometown ovation, and it was huge. Dolph Ziggler coming off winning the Survivor Series, being the sole survivor of Team Cena versus Team Authority. You can definitely see that this is a move up to the top. I thought that Ziggler was going to be able to win or lose from here on out. I honestly sort of wanted to see Ziggler win the Intercontinental Championship because I thought he is a great champion. But then again, I was thinking if he gets out of the Intercontinental title picture, he'll be more of a choice for people to win the Royal Rumble going on to WrestleMania, seeing how there is a movement, how basically John Cena isn't in the main event of another pay-per-view. Here we are. He sat on the back burner for Hell in the Cell. He sat on the back burner for TLC. I don't know if this is a Vince McMahon move where basically he's trying to save John Cena in case there are people complaining or there are low numbers, basically saying that they didn't have Cena in a spot. They were trying to listen to the fans, so they put Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins in the main event of Hell in a Cell. They put Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose, two young guys, trying to get up to the top. They put them in the main event of TLC. I don't know if he's just trying to find a way to make excuses for something that happens later on down the road. But Ziggler was able to get the win in a great match. The announcers, Michael Cole, JBL, Jerry the King Lawler, all of them putting this over as a real big win, trying to put this as a big exclamation point, as something bigger than a normal Intercontinental Championship win for Dolph Ziggler, a guy who has won the title probably many countless times. If I had $1 to bet, I would guess that this is more than likely his 6th Intercontinental Champion. I could be off by a few. More than likely somebody will comment down below if they made it through this video saying what it is. But Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler, a great way to kick off this pay-per-view. And we'll leave this one. We're going to go press play on the Apple TV, and we'll head on down to the next match and see what that is. Second match of the night, the second hometown boy comes out to not so much of a big ovation. The Usos got first billing when they came out as the contenders for the WWE Tag Team Champions. They came out and they did their little dance. They set the Slammies in front of them and carried them down to the ring to show off that they were the WWE Tag Team of the Year for the WWE, as was, I believe, voted by the WWE Universe, handed out on last week's edition of the Slammies on Monday Night Raw. I thought that was a little bit weird for babyfaces to be coming around holding up the Slammies. I don't know when Seth Rollins, I apologize, but when Roman Reigns makes his return, if he's going to be carrying his Slammy around, showing off that he was Superstar of the Year, I think you just, fly that thing home. You set it on your mantle. You look at it when you're sitting in your living room enjoying your day. But I don't think you're carrying around that thing, on your daily process. And it immediately went in my head. I was like, who do they think they are? They think they're Owen Hart or something like that? Like somebody that doesn't know that they were the tag team of the year and they need to carry these Slammies around for a little bit more attention. I know that, they're not the Young Bucks or anything like that, but they're pretty recognizable. They've been in WWE since 2010. People have known these guys are the champions for a good long little time. We don't need the baby faces showing off their Slammies all the time. And immediately I thought, well, I'm guessing that this is going to play into the finish of the match that they're going to use against them. Big backdrop, back to the pre-show, was basically Miz going up to Naomi, basically saying that if they win their match and they walk out as champions, it is a slam dunk that Naomi will be signed by the talent agent and her WWE career will kick off. Naomi shoots this down, ultimately seeing through what Miz is trying to do, basically trying to turn Naomi against her husband and their tag team, the Usos, maybe asking if Naomi would come down and help the Usos lose some way. And I don't know if Miz is looking for Naomi to team up with her and maybe join on, Team Hollywood with Miz and Mizdow. Honestly, in my mind, I thought this match inside of the ring was horrible. I'm not a big fan of Mizdow. Basically, Miz works the entire match as Mizdow is on the outside. I'm guessing that the fans don't really pay attention to Miz being in the ring for so long, fighting off both of these guys, and just basically Mizdow not really doing anything. One of the funny spots is basically both of the Mizes were laying in opposing corners and the Uso was pointing back and forth at which one do you want me to hit, and everyone cheered for Mizdow, and the guy still went over and he hit Miz. I don't know, maybe he thought that people would cheer for Miz as like, yeah, I'm going to hit this guy instead of hitting the guy that I want to hit, but he went and did what he wanted to do anyways. Basically, there was a belt shot as Jimmy dove to the outside. And basically he was trying to hit Mizdow, and then Miz ran over and clocked one of them with the Slammies. They announced the Usos as the winner, but they announced Miz and Mizdow as still champion. I don't know if this means that the Naomi storyline is going to continue, or if this is going to kill it off. I thought this was going to be something that played into Total Divas in Season 3, the finale coming up, but honestly, they announced that Naomi was removed from the show, and she even tweeted as far as saying basically that it wasn't her asking to be removed. It was just basically WWE telling her she wasn't going to be there, with Alicia Fox and with Paige joining the team. Summer Rae was dropped as well. I thought Summer Rae was one of the most attractive people that was on the show. Had a big feud with Natalia on there, so no real idea on where they're going with that one, but I'm not sure what they're doing with the Miz and Naomi feud, but as of right now, it looks like the Usos would get a rematch, seeing how they won this match due to disqualification, but no real clear path to see where they're going from here, unless there's a backstage skit somewhere along the way. We'll kick it off this match, and we'll head on to the next one, and I'll see you in that one. As we continue along with the show, before the Big Show and Eric Rowan match, there was a backstage segment with Seth Rollins, Joey Mercury, and Jamie Noble, basically talking about how Seth Rollins guaranteed a victory against John Cena tonight at the tables match, basically saying that he felt Triple H and Stephanie were sitting at home watching the pay-per-view on the WWE Network when they should be sitting there in the arena, still controlling WWE. And basically, he felt that a win over John Cena was going to be one step closer to bringing them back. He also made a point to call out Sting as being a guy who stole Survivor I apologize, Survivor Series away from him and him not being able to be there. Seth Rollins said that he had searched for Sting and hadn't been able to find him. I guess that's just saying that basically Sting wasn't going to show up in his match tonight. I'm not 100% sure if they're pointing the directions towards Sting and Seth Rollins match. I think everybody thinks that they're maybe going towards Sting and Triple H at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins would be a little bit of a stretch and a little bit of a weird match, but I don't know. Maybe it could be today against tomorrow. Maybe when it turns out, maybe we'll find out that Seth Rollins is a huge Sting fan, and maybe this is a match that he would want, and maybe WWE is putting stock in him to be able to carry Sting to a great match, and maybe there still are plans for Triple H to have a match against somebody like The Rock, or maybe Triple H versus John Cena, or any other sort of match that could be thrown out there along the way. Tonight I'm enjoying, I guess I have Pepsi. I had some chicken strips. I already ate those. I'm eating some cookies. You can't tell from that side, but they're different colors. I've got pink and white there, rolled through some sprinkles. My girls, my wife, and my 2 babies, they made those for me today, so I'm enjoying those. They knew that I was going to be coming home and watching the show, staying up late. It's already later than it should be, 11 o'clock. Here we are, Big Show versus Eric Rowan in the stairs match. Honestly, in my mind, very dull, very slow match. Both of these guys are to come away with injuries. It looked like Aaron Rowan injured his groin. It looked like on a spot where Eric Rowan came off the top rope holding some steel stairs, and he was going to jam them into the Big Show. The Big Show went to move, but basically didn't get out of the way in time, and it looked like the steel stairs came right down on Big Show's hip. Easily could be some sort of an injury that nags him. Big Show is the kind of guy that works through all the pain, real old-timer. So I wouldn't really be looking forward to Big Show missing any time. And more than likely we'll be seeing him on Monday Night Raw sooner than later. But definitely it was a bad shot. A lot of things with the ring steps, as there was like a lot of ladders out there for the ladder match early on in the night. There was probably at least a dozen sets of the ring steps that they claimed to weigh over 200 pounds apiece. But Big Show and Eric Rowan were able to lift them with ease, sometimes throwing them, sometimes running into each other, sometimes hitting people with them. Basically, at one point, Eric Rowan built a big, huge wall of the stairs, basically stacking them on top of each other using their pyramid sort of shape to sort of intertwine them. To basically, they would make a wall at one point. Big Show was able to spear Eric Rowan through the wall, which basically looked like it hurt more on the fall down than the going through it. Both of these guys came up slow after this one spot. It was a triple combo from the Big Show in order to win this match, where basically Big Show nailed Eric Rowan basically with a choke slam on top of the stair. Then he hit him right after that with a knockout punch. As Big Show went to go lay down on him, he got some idea in his mind where basically he got off of the pinfall before the referee even counted 1, grabbed a set of steel steps, used the V in them, much like when the Wyatt family held down Kane and took him out at SummerSlam 2013. Basically pinned Eric Rowan using the steel steps where he wouldn't be able to kick out. Eric Rowan immediately after the steel steps held his balls big time. You can tell that there was some sort of a groin injury there, and we'll see where we go from there. Not sure what match is next, but that's the one we're going to, and I'll see you on later down. Alright, John Cena versus Seth Rollins in the middle of the show, sort of stacking up the beginning part, and then we'll just lay it down from here on out. You have a Divas match, you got your chairs match. It looks like your TLC is going to be your main event with Dean Ambrose going up against Bray Wyatt. Honestly, very surprised that Cena versus Rollins for the number 1 contendership is not the main event here. Honestly, when it comes down to Royal Rumble time, if it is going to be John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, no way in hell that doesn't main event that show. That being in the middle of the show leaves it very, very weird. I know that Brock did wrestle on the Royal Rumble last year, and it wasn't the main event with Batista winning it, closing out the show. But John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, that has to be the main event, and only a few times can I really think of. I know the Mysterio one. I know that the Cena win, followed by the Rock versus Punk, that one also didn't main event. So very weird that more than likely the Royal Rumble this year isn't going to be main eventing the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, which will probably tell you the winner of the Royal Rumble will not be in the main event of WrestleMania 31 as well. We'll get back on track. I forgot what I was even talking about. I was start throwing out predictions on what I thought WrestleMania 31 was going to be. But John Cena versus Seth Rollins, happening with the tables match here. Very early on in the match, you saw the tone set for this basically as 3-on-1. I like the part of basically sending out Paul Heyman to basically be impartial, but be at ringside, scouting and seeing what was going on between Rollins versus Cena. Saw Cena going for a table a few times to be blocked by the mall cop security of Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble, who were on the outside basically pulling tables out of Cena's hands. Cena couldn't go to attack him because if he would have took his eyes off of Seth Rollins would have came from behind and took the advantage in the match. But honestly, whole bunch of carnage inside of this, and basically, even the ref took a bump to the outside, where basically he was down and had to be checked on he had to be basically checked up on by a referee. I fell for this. They showed it very, very clear as day, basically showing that the ref was down, and then Cena and Rollins were fighting inside of the ring. Cena was able to hit the FU, sending Rollins through a table, and I was like, yeah, Cena won! We gotta win! And he's gonna be the new number one contender, well, I guess still number one contender, and be going on to fight Brock Lesnar at Royal Rumble. But it turned out that because the ref was down, the ref didn't see it, so basically just set up the fact that it didn't matter. Mercury and Noble got into the ring, cleared up the mess, basically taking care of a table, pulling it out of the ring, and basically making it look like it was never there. Cena started fighting Mercury and Noble for once, where he picked up both of them, hit the double FU on the mall cop security, sending them through a table, but then having to turn the fight, basically going through to Seth Rollins. There was a point in the match where basically Rollins and Cena were on the outside fighting to get into the ring. Both took a bump to the outside where they both went through a table at the same time. Basically at this point, the bell rang. The ref basically sort of teased that this is going to be some sort of a draw. One ref raised Cena's hands, another one raised Rollins' hands. An announcement had to be made of who was the winner and what they were going to do. I honestly was pissed. I was at the point of saying, well, if Cena's going to lose his number one contendership, Rollins should lose his Money in the Bank. And maybe I thought maybe this would come down to maybe pushing the Brock Lesnar match back again. Maybe they could have a match at the Royal Rumble for the true number one contender to be see who it could really be. But the announcement was made that the match must continue. Immediately after the match continuing, basically they started fighting inside of the ring. Big Show made his way down to the ring and started pushing some people around. He came down and gave Cena some good old body shots, and then he teased that he was going to give him a choke slam when the Roman Reigns music went. And I mean, the pop was fast, but the pop was loud. People, I think, expected to see Roman Reigns sooner than later, but it was good, basically, to hear Roman Reigns. Roman made his way, like his Shield entrance, where he comes down through the crowd. It would have sucked if, I don't know, if you ran to the bathroom and you just happened to see them setting up the Roman Reigns entrance and you had this spoiled for you. But basically, Reigns, he got into the ring. He gave a Superman punch and a spear. The spear took out Big Show, and then the Superman punch set up Rollins for the attitude adjustment to the table for John Cena to get the win. But I'm big time excited. Cena gets the win over Rollins. Cena and Reigns, basically they partied and celebrated outside. Inside the ring. Then Cena made his way up to the ramp, where basically he yelled out for Brock Lesnar and for Paul Heyman, "Tell the Beast that I'm ready and that he's coming." So I'm guessing that Cena versus Rollins is going to be, Cena versus Brock is going to be at the Royal Rumble, and that is the match that they're going to be setting up for with Brock Lesnar's return to Monday Night Raw tomorrow. So be ready and be looking forward to that. From here on out, we'll be watching the next ones, counting down to that big TLC match. Hey, what up, everybody? You can tell by my relaxed state that basically I am the reaction of the whole crowd tonight for the Nikki Bella versus AJ feud. Or maybe not even the feud, but just the match for tonight, which honestly could be AJ Lee's last match with WWE. I don't know if basically the dirt sheets have just confirmed it and it's no longer a story anymore, or maybe it just has just died out and gone away, that there's no confirmation that it's going down. But basically, I haven't heard anything about it in at least a few days. Trying to see anything from the match that would, pinpoint that AJ is leaving. They didn't do a normal casket job or anything like that. AJ Lee wasn't, I guess you can say medically helped out of the arena. They didn't come down and put her on a stretcher or anything like that. It was just a normal match between Nikki and AJ Lee. They finally answered the question of why Brie Bella and Nikki Bella had a reunion, basically with Phillips asking Brie why she has forgiven her sister, and basically Brie just in a heel mode, Brie mode, basically just, answered back and just said, hey, it's not up to you to tell me, who to be friends with. Blood is thicker than water, and that, that basically the Bellas have reunited to take out AJ Lee, and that was the main objective of them. Basically, I think she sort of went into saying that Brie knows that Nikki is an asshole, but, the only way that they're going to be able to stop AJ is if they do it together. It's like they're the connected Bella twin friends. But basically, I'm normally a Brie guy, but Nikki looked hot as hell. I couldn't pinpoint what it was. She was wearing her normal sort of gold with the pink under bra wrestling attire. Nothing really stood out more than anything else, but she just stole the show. Brie was just out there in her Brie mode shirt. I couldn't even tell what her bottom was, but just girl in a t-shirt, no big deal. Crowd didn't care about this match at all. Nothing really that precise about it. Just AJ at one point looked like she was going to get the win using the Shining Wizard. Brie on the outside put Nikki's leg up on the ropes. The ref had to stop the count because of the leg on the rope, but did take objection to the outside interference, where the referee asked Brie to be removed from ringside. From there, when the ref was distracted, Nikki pulled out a can of hairspray that she was keeping in her knee pad, and from there she sprayed AJ into the eyes. From there, Nikki gave AJ a forearm to the face, followed by the huge rack attack. Boom! And from there, basically, she got the 1, 2, 3 to keep the title. From there, Nikki walked out of the arena. Brie didn't come down to join her for the walkout, but she danced with the titles as AJ was getting some, referees and stuff to look into her eyes and see if she was blind or not. But from there, we'll go to the next match. You get a few ones. You get a title match, you get your chairs match, and you get your TLC match. Maybe even a sporadic match somewhere along the way to pop something up. But nothing really big from the Divas Championship match tonight. Back at it again. Here we are with the Roman Reigns backstage interview. From here, basically, Roman Reigns cut off the announcer. I can't remember which one it was. Basically, just telling everybody that he was going to make a return and he was going to make an impact. He talked about the backstage interview he did at Survivor Series, basically saying that he would be back in about a month. And then when he came back, he wanted to make an impact. And making an impact is what he did. Basically, by showing up during the John Cena versus Seth Rollins the tables match. I couldn't remember what the hell it was. Basically, he came down there, he speared Big Show through a table, he punched Seth Rollins right in the mouth, and basically that puts him at the top of the WWE food chain right now. If there was the authority, no doubt in my mind, that the authority would be looking for him and wanting to know basically, how they were going to be able to take him out. From here, Roman Reigns said that he was entering into this year's Royal Rumble, and he played back and talked about last year's Rumble, saying, basically, if you know how much of an impact he made when he, topped the most eliminations in a Rumble by one single guy. Basically, in order to win the Rumble, his own team, Dean Ambrose, turned on him and trying to eliminate him, and he got all the way down to the finish, where it was him and Batista standing there one-on-one. Basically, the fans were all chanting for Daniel Bryan, who everybody thought was going to be number 30. Ended up being Rey Mysterio, who they booed out of the arena. From there, basically, the fans didn't know who they wanted to cheer for because the Yes Movement didn't even have a number into the show. Basically, they could have gave Daniel Bryan number 1, number 2. Didn't matter what they wanted, but that was the guy that everybody wanted to win. Batista coming back from making movies and being gone for so long wasn't the storyline that we really were hoping to see headline WrestleMania 30. And all of Pittsburgh and everybody that was there, I think a lot of people travel to get over to the Royal Rumble. Knowing that it's the kickoff to WrestleMania, I think everybody was counting down the days until January just to get into that Royal Rumble state of mind. I always count tomorrow as the start of basically the road to WrestleMania. Some people say it's the next night after the Royal Rumble, but a lot of guys, a lot of times you have to have entrance matches to even get a number into the Royal Rumble. So that's why I always say that Monday Night Raw tomorrow is the kickoff to WrestleMania, and you have to see what you're going to do in order to compete to get on to into the Rumble to even have a chance of main eventing WrestleMania, which is everybody's dream. That's what Roman Reigns is going to be going after, and we're going to have to see if he's going to be able to get that done. You can easily say that he is one of the top dogs that could be named to be the winner. A lot of people have him going to WrestleMania, headlining against Brock Lesnar and becoming that guy. He is your 2014 Superstar of the Year, winning the Slammy that was presented by Booker T on Monday Night Raw. So we're going to have to see. I mean, he thinks he can do it. I sort of think he can. Sort of don't want him to, but we'll figure it out from there. What's on next? Pepsi number 2 of the night. Pop top. Can't go wrong with that. Right there, we just had the chairs match go down between Ryback versus Kane. Honestly, this match was boring, and I didn't care. The crowd didn't care. If there was ever a spot for a second Divas match on the night, it should have been this one. I know that you don't let Divas hit each other with chairs, but I'm just not a big fan of the all of these gimmick matches all along the card like this, where it's tables match, chairs match, stairs match. Just everything that fills up the whole deal. Extreme Rules, you always get a little bit better, sort of stipulation matches. This one just didn't do it for me. This match probably felt like it was 20 minutes long. Maybe it was in a different universe, maybe for a big Ryback fan or maybe for a big Kane fan. I'd cheer for Ryback a lot, but this match was crap. This was nothing. They just beat each other with chairs to the point it didn't even really matter. These guys both came to the ring. They both had chairs from the moment the bell rang. They hit each other inside of the ring. They hit each other outside of the ring. It finally ended when basically Kane hit a choke slam on Ryback. He went for a pin. Ryback kicked out of the pin, got up from the pin, used the clothesline on Kane, knocking him down and making him defenseless for the big shell shock. After the shell shock, Kane was able to pin Ryback was able to pin Kane 1, 2, 3. Just felt like this match just went on forever and ever. I would love to check Wikipedia to see how long this match was, because honestly, it felt like it was 30 minutes. I'm sitting here eating cookies. I just popped my second Pepsi of the night. I got 2 more matches unless they add something along the way. We got Rusev and Swagger, and then we got the TLC. In my mind, Swagger would be the main event. Oh, how badass that would be. But Kane beats Ryback. I apologize. I said it wrong for the second time of the night. Ryback beats Kane. As you can tell, I'm getting a little tired. It's 12:30. We're plugging along, and we'll get there. Peace out. All right, here we are. Rusev versus Jack Swagger for the United States Championship. This was very fast. This was a very good match. You can see that the pace was 100% going through this, trying to save as much time for Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt in the TLC main events. I think a lot of it had to do with trying to save time for those guys. But the way that Jack Swagger and Rusev had this United States versus Russia, really, we hate each other feud that the fans really get behind and the fans really believe. They just don't like each other. Rusev comes down to the ring, is about to have some sort of long-winded promo by Lana. Basically, Jack Swagger's music kicks off, and he comes running down to the ring, and the fight is on from there. Basically, Rusev was able to get the accolade on once for Jack Swagger. He was able to make the ropes from there, and then almost immediately after that, basically, Rusev slapped the accolade on to Swagger once again and held him down on the mat for a long time, a lot more time than they would normally give a match before there's a ref stoppage due to basically Swagger not really doing anything. But after a long period of time, Swagger was able to power out and basically able to kick out of the accolade, flipping it right into an ankle lock. Which he was able to hold in for just a very short moment before Rusev was able to roll out of the ring and then give Swagger a sidekick, which basically knocked Swagger out down on the floor. It looked like they were going to do another count out finish. As Rusev was sliding back into the ring, Jack Swagger was able to get back up into the ring, but not for long before Swagger was hit by another sidekick, which set up another accolade. And 3 accolades in one match is a lot, and it was enough to take Rusev down. I'm sorry, it was enough to take Jack Swagger down, and Jack Swagger was forced to not win this match and fight another day. It'd be interesting. I think both of these guys will be entrants into the Royal Rumble. Neither one, I think, really has a big chance to win it. Rusev is the guy who's undefeated. Last year he did pretty well in there, but I don't think that he's a guy that people are thinking is going to main event WrestleMania this year. Maybe you can see something that they can build to. Rusev is first going to need to find a way to lose and maintain what he has going for him right now. I think that when Rusev takes his first loss in the WWE, I think that honestly it's going to be a big knock to his character, which has been undefeated. A lot of people were complaining about Charlotte losing on Raw last week, and even though Triple H stood up for it and said that it was basically not her debut, and then once her debut is really a debut, it'll be a bigger thing. That was more of a way of just trying to get eyes on NXT before the NXT big show, and even though she did lose the match, it's a weird way to get eyes on the product. It wasn't her debut, but if you think about it, Bo Dallas came in to a good long winning streak, being called up from NXT. You had Adam Rose, another guy that lost before anybody even noticed that he had lost his undefeated streak. He had a good little undefeated streak going for him. Rusev still going strong. The Shield was undefeated forever after getting called up, and they were all big storylines inside WWE. Not all rookies come up from NXT and that are going to hit the ground running and be undefeated. I know that it's a way to show that NXT really is proving bigger guys up there, but every once in a while somebody's gonna get called up and be like, man, this guy was really good in the minors, but what is he gonna do once he reaches the majors? And I know everybody wants to swing for the fences, and I know that everybody wants their guy to be the next one. We're going to have to see what happens with Rusev once he loses. That's what I'm looking forward to, and trying to see where they can build from here. Swagger is the guy that I really like. Rusev is the guy that I like watching his matches. He's just a big, bulky dude that can hit each other, another guy in a match 100 times, and it sound really well, and I'm sure it hurts, but it doesn't really show it inside of the ring. I like those guys, and I'm just looking forward to see what he can do with this character once he loses his first match. They didn't bring out the European Championship like a lot of people thought was going to be the big rumor of the weekend. Maybe one person who commented on my video is right, basically just saying that maybe this is the toy belt that WWE is going to be being made by Mattel, and they had to go in and they had to change a few things, basically putting World Wrestling Entertainment on there, which never was on the belt because the belt was retired before Entertainment came into play, and then also having to change the block logo, the scratch logo to the new WWE Network logo, giving it a new face, which makes it look a little bit different. Maybe Lana did tweet the picture, maybe she didn't tweet the picture. I didn't see it. I just saw 1,000 news reports, so I just made the video about it. Since Swagger was involved in this, and Rusev is the guy that I cheer for. European Championship was a good title back in the day, but I think it really was a knockdown for the United States Championship, and I think they made the right move by not bringing it back. Hey, what up, everybody? I'm a little tired, but honestly, I think this was a very, very good show. I had a lot of fun watching WWE TLC with you guys tonight. It is now December 15th. Tonight is a Monday Night Raw, so I honestly have to go to work and I have to come back and watch that one again. But I had a ton of fun watching WWE TLC 2014, the final WWE pay-per-view 2014 on the WWE Network. A decent show, top to bottom. You can't lie. Stairs match, chairs match, both put me to sleep a little bit. Honestly, I was a little bit weirded out that the TLC match with Ambrose versus Wyatt was the main event. It was a good match. I mean, it lives up to the past history of WWE TLC matches. It was a long, brutal match. Both guys really standing tall throughout a good portion of the match, just beating each other back and forth. I love the spot when just Ambrose and Wyatt headbutting each other back and forth outside of the ring earlier on inside of the match. Sort of sends everybody home with sort of an eerie, sort of gut feeling of something weird happened tonight with Bray Wyatt getting the victory in the main event here. But then again, I talked about this a little bit in an earlier video, talking about how WWE is in a sort of a weird spot right now, where basically at the end of the year, basically WWE promised a lot of their people that they were going to be at a certain number for the WWE Network. Honestly, I don't know when the next reading of the network number is going to be for the stockholders, but honestly, it might not be a really big one. They're going into the Royal Rumble push. It would be smart if there was a number reading sooner than later, basically for Vince McMahon to say that he was trying to listen to what the fans wanted, and the fans wanted new names in the main event. If you think about it, with Hell in the Cell, Randy Orton versus John Cena was in the middle of that, with Seth Rollins going up against Dean Ambrose in the main event, and then Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt here in the TLC show, with John Cena and Seth Rollins going on in the middle of the show. Vince McMahon can easily say that Cena deserves to be the main event guy, and that basically that's the guy they're going to go with, and they sort of put all of the well-doings of the WWE on the shoulder of John Cena. I'm sure he'll love that, put a little bit more money in his pocket when they think about a Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. I guess there is no Elimination Chamber. I know they replaced the February pay-per-view with something else. Can't remember what the name of it is at this point. Basically, I think that there was a lot of movement, and there's a lot of movement and shaking in this match. Basically, it was Wyatt taking an Ambrose elbow off of top of about a 6-foot ladder. There was another one from a ladder that was a little bit taller than that, and then probably at least a 12 to 15 foot high ladder. Ambrose put Wyatt through the Spanish announce table on the outside. A very weird sort of thing that was during the show when Dean Ambrose was sort of surveying all of the carnage that had happened inside of the match, and he went underneath the ring to see what he could pull out from underneath there. Not sure if he was looking for a chair or a table. Ended up pulling up a television. This was a flat screen monitor, not like the normal announce table television that you would see on the outside. But basically, Ambrose pulled this out and was weirded out when he was sort of looking around. But he did notice something. He was watching himself. It was obviously it was hooked up to the hard camera, not the hard camera, but the regular camera that they were doing. I was joking when I was watching it that he was watching the WWE Network as it was on, trying to show how clear and awesome the picture was. But it ends up he ended up seeing something. He ended up going and getting one of the taller ladders all the way in the back of the set, where they come out down the ramp. He brought that all the way back down. That's what set up the big announce table spot on the outside. But then once they started getting back into the ring, basically they started fighting around, and Ambrose grabbed the television as something that he thought he could do. And as he came towards the middle of the ring, the monitor was connected to a hard cable, which pulled him back like a bungee cord. He really wanted to hit Wyatt with this television, so he just ran at it with full force. Once he hit about the center of the ring, the bungee cord wire had expanded as long as it could. It was forcing the television to explode in Dean Ambrose's face, which caused some sort of a discombobulation inside of Dean Ambrose, which set up Bray Wyatt hitting the Sister Abigail onto Dean Ambrose, him being able to get the win. Bray Wyatt looks great getting the win in a major pay-per-view, something that I think could have really helped him out if he would have got the win back at WrestleMania 30 against John Cena. Dean Ambrose doesn't look that weak taking the pinfall here. If a television exploded in your face, you might go down for the 1, 2, 3. But honestly, I thought this was a great show. I hope you guys enjoyed watching WWE TLC 2014. I'll be looking forward to counting down into 41 days into the Royal Rumble 2015, John Cena against Brock Lesnar. That's something that really gets to me. I know that Paul Heyman really pushed this match on the pre-show, basically saying that if you weren't connected with this main event, that you hadn't been paying attention. I take that as Paul Heyman has been listening to me tweet and basically make my videos. I just don't connect with Bray Wyatt versus Dean Ambrose. I haven't connected with a lot with Bray Wyatt in the last little bit, and honestly, when it comes down to it, I haven't connected with Dean Ambrose in a little bit of a long time either. So I was really looking for something really big in this match. Honestly, this match was good. It really wasn't spectacular to me. I thought that Cena versus Seth Rollins was my main event. After that, basically, there was a few matches that kept me going. Rusev versus Jack Swagger got me pumped. But Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt didn't do it for me. Ryback versus Kane didn't do it. Nikki Bella versus AJ, just it was what it was. The bottom half of the pay-per-view wasn't as good as the top part. Normally they stack their cards a little bit better, but they weren't able to do it tonight. So I don't know. I'm leaving TLC with a little bit of a bad feeling in my stomach, and it is what it is. I mean, $9.99. I think I got my money's worth, whether this show is bad or not. These shows have been a lot better than what I thought they were going to be when they switched over from the WWE Network instead of pay-per-view. I was thinking these were basically just going to be editions of Monday Night Raw. They're a lot better than that. So, thank you very much, WWE. 2 thumbs up from this guy right here. Peace out, everybody. See you down the road. Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Return of Chris Jericho.